We are at the point where the best anime this season might not even be an anime. That's right, China has completely taken over this year with some absolutely insane shows. Supercube broke the internet with some incredible action sequences, and now 2B Hero X is looking to push Donghua even further. If you don't already know, Donghua is a word used for Chinese animation. Basically, just Chinese anime. Some of these action cuts look absolutely insane, and the newest show to hit that peak is 2B Hero X, directed by the same guy who made Link Click. Now, if you haven't watched Link Click, you definitely should. It's one of the greatest animated TV shows of all time, and it has amazing cliffhangers, great writing, great drama, great action sequences, and I have a lot of faith in that director to deliver on something. So the fact that he's working on 2B Hero X, a super action-oriented show with a very unique premise, makes me super excited to see this show's all about. But before I go deep into the staff about 2B Hero X, let's talk about the plot a little bit. There's a really cool power system where the amount of trust that people have in you in the world lead to your abilities getting stronger and stronger. So superheroes that have a bunch of notoriety or are really popular and are kind of known for doing a certain thing will get those abilities enhanced if a bunch of people trust them, which is such a cool power system. But it also has its drawbacks, which I love. For example, it could be bad if, a bunch of people wish that you stay standing to protect a little girl from a fire. Eventually, so many people maybe see this video that you can never bend down to wipe your ass. And yes, this is actually the third episode of 2B Hero X, and it kind of explores a deeper side of social commentary where everyone is kind of projecting their idea of what you are onto them, and you are forced to abide by that. Even if it gives you superhuman abilities, it can also be a detriment. But that's just the power system. In terms of the characters and world, I think he has absolutely nailed it. So to start off, we have our main character who's just a boring average guy, but he basically makes commercials for these superheroes. Now think about it, commercials in a world where everything is dictated by trust is very, very important, because you want those commercials to keep that, feeling of trust that people have towards a certain hero to keep their power level up. It kind of feels like Chainsaw Man Devils, right? But in reverse, instead of how much people fear you, in the case of Devils, it's more about how much people trust you, and that dictates your abilities. So he's a commercial producer for superheroes, he's enjoying his job, but he finally gets axed by his horrible boss for wanting to be more like a superhero. More specifically, the nice guy. Yeah, I'm not kidding, that's his actual name. And through a twist of fate, the now fired employee meets the hero Nice, who gives him his signature pose before killing himself. I'm not kidding, by the way. He literally jumps off a cliff and dies in the first episode. Now this is where things get crazy. If you watch Link Click, you know that the director and the writer of the show, I don't know, he sprinkles crack into everything he makes. You know what I mean? The way he handles his cliffhangers, the way he writes plot points to keep you engaged is just insane. I couldn't stop watching when I first started. So now that this nice hero has died, the company that's managing him realizes, oh man, we're about to lose a shit ton of money, just like any good corporation would, right? So they grab this employee that was also probably about to kill himself because he just got fired, and they realize that he kind of looks like the hero Nice, so they train him to be just like him. And once he starts going out there and actually saving people, people's trust in him begins to grow, and he actually becomes like Nice. But the question still remains, why did Nice kill himself in the first place? There are so many cool questions that are immediately thrown at you. And even within the first episode, we're already exploring other ideas like how fear can be a different motivator for power. We see Lin Ling's boss use fear to basically attack him. So you can use fear in the same way that certain people use trust. If a lot of people fear you, you also get a lot of power, which, again, very, very cool system. And by the way, that boss battle between fear and trust and kind of exploring how those two things clash, both ideologically and just generally, animation-wise, looked fucking amazing. So now he is on a path to basically become the hero Nice, the same one that he looked up to, but he has to deal with the consequences of what that comes with. The trust that people have in the hero Nice is starting to get to him. He starts getting slight feelings of OCD, that he has to be the most perfect human being possible and everything around him needs to be perfect. It seems like there's a lot of mystery and intrigue in this story that I'm super excited to delve into. It looks to be more of an anthology series, so it looks like Nice is just kind of one arc, and we're gonna get a bunch of different other heroes with a tournament arc possibly in the future, so that's super exciting. And if you look deeper into the staff work on this project, you'll see that it is cracked. Lee Haolin has an insane portfolio. He is a Chinese animation animation director, and he's directed and produced over 60 projects, the original creator, director, and writer of this series, so I have a lot of faith in him. If you've watched Link Click, you probably know why. He has an awesome sense of both humor, action, and kind of social commentary that all blend in to make really fun shows. Not to mention that he brought Hiroyuki Sawano to work on the soundtrack for To Be Hero X. If you don't know, this guy made the Attack on Titan soundtrack, one of the best anime soundtracks of all time. Not to mention the animation studios are all very high profile. Obviously Studio Lan is involved, is the same one that made Link Click, and has a bunch of awesome action scenes. But they also have Paper Plane Animation Studio. If you don't know what this is a CG animation studio that helped Riot Games make the Star Guardian series for League of Legends. You also have PB Animation, which was founded in 2015 in China. They've made a ton of awesome net animations and are working on this and making it look great. Bilibili is a huge sponsor of this. It's basically the Chinese version of YouTube. I mean, imagine if our YouTube, like, the American company Google, sponsored anime. That'd be fucking awesome. Western made animation. That would be amazing. And because of the huge population that China has, they became a hub for animation outsourcing. In addition, the Chinese government introduced subsidies and tax breaks for domestic animation, which just furthered the industry more and more. I really wish we could have gotten this in the United States, to be honest. Not to mention that Chinese netizens have been drawing animation for fun for a long time, and this has been a long time coming. Ever since China got used as the outsourcing capital of the world, Chinese animation studios gained a ton of experience and capital by outsourcing work for major Japanese, American, and even European animation companies. They were doing everything from 2D animation to 3D animation. If you checked out my previous video on Donghua about a year ago, I said that China would become a major player in animation, and they're doing it.
All of this is basically to say, keep your eye out for China. I genuinely think they are the next big player in animated TV shows, and I'm super excited to see where it goes from here. But other than that, peace.